Haters, haters, haters. There's always gonna be haters, for crying out loud. Okay, guys. So addiction to track feedback. I'm showing you my Instagram here. We're gonna get into that in a minute, but essentially, as I'm sure most of you know, there's a ton of courses out there, and there's a ton of tutorials and music academies. I almost want to say just like mine, but they're not. And here's why: because most of them are not going to unapologetically say to you that constant track feedback is the perfect way to kind of entrap you into this idea of like always being a student and never really quote unquote graduating. So the short of this video is that track feedback is great to a point, but at some point you need to cut the cord. You need to just say, I'm as good as I can be for right now. So I'm going to use that knowledge for now to complete tracks for now and put those tracks out for now and build a fan base for now. The reason why I keep saying for now is because so many people just like get afraid of the for now, and they keep thinking that, you know, if they just wait another year or 6 months and become a better mix engineer. The problem is like that goal, that end zone keeps moving every time you move. So 6 months goes by and yeah, you are better. And then a year goes by and you're better, and then you start thinking, well, if I could be better than the people that I work at a studio with, and then that goal line moves to, well, you know, could I be as good as my idols? And you know, so basically what happens is you spend a lifetime studying the art of production and mixing and mastering, and you never get down to the actual releasing of music. And I have a very hard time getting the perfect mimicking of somebody else's sound. I'm not very good at that. So I don't strive to make the best dubstep track. I don't strive to make the most perfect house track that is completely indistinguishable from insert whatever name you want right here. Um, this academy is much more so about you finding your own sound and getting as good as you can be to start to develop a fan base. And I think that's really the takeaway here. It isn't so much about, you know, the blood, sweat, and tears of a decade. Then you've earned the right to release music. It's as simple as this, guys. Give me anywhere from a month to a year to develop you, and go for it. Start to use everything I've taught you to develop a career in music as an artist. So the reason why I say a month to a year is because the 30-day power production course kind of is really all you need production-wise. Just take that and rinse and repeat that process over the course of a year. So roughly, if it's a 30-day power production course and you do that for a year, you should have 12 tracks, right? 30-day increments, 12 months roughly. 12 tracks. You'll naturally get better if you just keep rinsing and repeating that process for 12 months, 12 times. When you couple that with everything else that I teach you in the academy, there's no reason why your tracks, whether they be a little on the rough side of things or if you're naturally talented, that they're quite polished even after maybe 2 or 3 months. The point is, though, don't get addicted to the idea of having someone kind of sort of like me, we'll talk about that in a minute, judging you. Because the problem is with a lot of these musical courses and academies and online, you know, kind of sites, you know, they really have a financial interest in you never feeling good enough. So track feedback every week, guys. Join me on the call. And you know, really, there's very rarely a time on those calls where somebody, and let me correct myself there, the teacher, the owner of that site says to you, yeah, I don't know, it's good enough, it's ready for release, run it. They're always going to find something for you to improve on because they want you to keep re-upping that subscription charge, that money. Getting back to what I was saying with the teachers, though, the problem is, though, a lot of these people have very little social proof. And I don't mean to come down on other people and sort of, create enemies for myself here, because it's no disrespect, but it really kind of is true. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have launched a music academy just like I did, but the difference is they're not at the same time launching a DJ and production career where they continuously release music and continuously um, maintain a DJ career as well. So what they are then is basically content creators, instructors, if you will, mentors, and curators. I am that, but I also challenge anybody who questions my methods to go directly to my Instagram and, see the 2,000 as of right now and some odd hard earned followers. Now, 2,000 isn't exactly, an impressive number on Instagram, but do the math. If I can get, even half of that, let's just say 1,000 of them to spend between $20 and $100 with me a year, I'm good. I don't need to buy followers. I don't need the high number of 63,000 followers. Um, the proof is in the pudding right here that I'm a working DJ and producer that follows my own methods, and they work. Um, and that's what's lacking with a lot of these others. So it's interesting to me that they have the nerve to um, review your track and always keep you down to one degree or another, but then they themselves have really very little to show as far as being a successfully releasing producer currently, and a successfully streaming and or gigging DJ currently. Now, they may maintain an interest in production and DJing, and they may be able to produce a track, and they may be able to throw down a killer DJ set, but they don't maintain profiles that prove that they're following their own advice in doing that. So, to me, I wouldn't really take advice from someone like that, because they're not really practicing what they preach. And it's within their bank account's best interest week after week to charge you and give you feedback that always kind of holds you down, and yet they themselves really don't have a fan base. Their only fan base are the paying DJs that continue to return to their academy to be told that they're never good enough. So that's a really long-winded way of me saying that I would be very careful about any kind of track feedback, and that is to say feedback on your music for an extended period of time. Um, and in closing, I'll just say this. My tracks aren't perfect. They're far from it. I find a way to build a fan base with music that doesn't necessarily rip off other people, and with music that is not perfectly produced, mixed, or mastered. Here's the thing though, it doesn't really matter. So if I can build a fan base with music that isn't, kind of obsessed over and overthought and hidden from the world and sat on for 8 months where I struggle to complete it, if I can build a fan base with churning out tracks the way that I do, you can too. And it's easy to take this the wrong way. It's not necessarily to say that every single time you make a track you should do the 30-day power production thing and find as many shortcuts and hacks as you can and see how far you can push it to fool the public before they say, wow, you really did not spend any time on this at all, and yet you had the nerve to put it on Spotify and get us to listen to it. What kind of person is that? But it is to say that I think enough is enough on the whole marketing hype of you're always in lack. You need more plugins, you need more time practicing, you need more academic advice from people who really have no proof of their own. It's just terrible. It's the Wild West out there, and it's terrible, guys. So stop with it. Stop with the needing of affirmation. Stop with not putting stuff out. Let it be what it is. You're good enough. If you've taken my courses, you're ready. Put it out. In 6 months, you'll look back and think, yeah, well, I made some mistakes there. I'm a much better producer and DJ and engineer now. And that's fine, because in 6 months from then, you'll think the same thing as well. Document your growth. Stop hiding it and stop waiting for the perfect launch. I'll see you guys in the next video.